4 women sit on the floor of a small room, clapping and singing a traditional song. 2 men watch, one dancing, the other holding an old cell phone to record the moment. It is a completely innocent after-party, following a local wedding in May 2010. The event took place in Kohistan, a deeply isolated region in Pakistan. The rugged, intersectional mountain terrain here makes physical access incredibly difficult. Because of this geography, the federal government has almost no local presence, and national laws rarely reach these peaks. Instead, the region is governed by strict, centuries-old traditions. Under local rules, women are forbidden from socializing with men outside their immediate families. Gathering, singing, and clapping with unrelated men are treated as severe legal infractions. For 2 years, the footage sat forgotten on that cell phone. But in 2012, it leaked. While the rest of the world wouldn't blink at a few people clapping in a room, the video went viral locally in Kohistan. The villagers viewed it as undeniable evidence of a massive cultural crime. Because this community operates in total isolation from modern legal standards, the people in this footage were left completely unprotected. A moment of joy became a death warrant. To address the leak, the local villages convened a Jirga. This is a traditional tribal council made up of local elders who act as the ultimate legal authority for the area, prioritizing their cultural preservation over Pakistani federal law. The Jirga reviewed the footage and handed down their verdict. All 4 women in the video, plus a 5th girl who supposedly organized the meeting, were sentenced to death. Before the executions, the women were locked inside a small room for weeks. Every morning, they were doused with boiling water. Every night, they were covered in burning coals from the daily fire. Finally, on May 30th, 2012, they were killed. The men who cut their throats were their own fathers, uncles, and brothers. The local families fully supported the Jirga's ruling and carried out the horrific sentences themselves. Following the murders, the entire region fell silent. The villagers, the elders, and the families all agreed to hide what they had done, creating a massive cover-up to protect their perceived honor. The conspiracy might have held up entirely, except for one man. Afzal Kohistani left the mountains, traveled to the city of Abbottabad, and held a press conference to expose the killings to the outside world. Afzal had a deeply personal reason to risk his life by speaking out. The 2 men dancing in that leaked video were his own brothers, and the Jirga had already placed active bounties on their heads. Forced to respond by the public outcry, the Pakistani government assembled an investigative team. They flew a helicopter into the mountains and undertook a grueling hike to track down the women and verify Afzal's claim that they had been murdered. When the investigators arrived, the villagers brought the girls out to meet them. The local families attested to their identities, and the girls looked similar enough to the blurry figures in the video. The case was quickly closed, and Afzal was labeled a liar. But the locals had played a trick. Relying on the fact that the investigators had nothing but grainy screenshots to go by, the village had entirely different girls pretend to be the victims, successfully discrediting the whistleblower. Years later, independent journalists tested the findings. A digital overlay compares a screenshot of the girl presented to investigators against the actual victim's official ID photo. The results came back as a 17% match. They were completely different people, total imposters. The village had gone to desperate lengths to hide the truth. During a later court summons, officials tried to take fingerprints from one of the young girls claiming to be a victim, only to discover that her fingertips had been intentionally burned off to prevent identification. As Afzal continued petitioning the courts to reopen the case, the Jirga retaliated. In January 2013, gunmen ambushed and murdered 3 of Afzal's other brothers, men who had absolutely no involvement with the video whatsoever. Afzal kept fighting. In 2016, his story was featured in a widely viewed Vice documentary. The massive international pressure finally forced the Pakistani government to intervene. leading to the victims' family members fully confessing to the murders in 2018. To uphold the Jirga ruling, an entire community had lied to the Supreme Court, mutilated the hands of children, and executed innocent bystanders, all to ensure the truth never left the mountain. Throughout this ordeal, Afzal lived in constant fear, hiding in secret locations away from his family. Despite the continuous death threats against him, he struggled to secure the police protection that the courts had explicitly granted him. In fact, the local authorities actively turned against him. When Afzal visited a station to press the officers for help, they dragged him into a back room and brutally beat him. Left completely defenseless, Afzal warned his followers on social media that his life was in immediate danger. Days later, in March 2019, while waiting in an unmarked truck to give his final testimony in the Kohistan murder trial, he was gunned down. Following his assassination, a few men were imprisoned, but the justice system ultimately collapsed. In 2023, the killers who had previously confessed on record to murdering the women were quietly released due to a supposed lack of evidence. 9 people are dead. The 5 girls originally sentenced, Afzal's 3 innocent brothers, and Afzal himself, a man who gave his life trying to bring the truth to light. All of this destruction traces back to a few seconds of clapping and singing. A digital artifact from 2010 that became the deadliest video in internet history, weaponized by a community demanding silence and enabled by a system that refused to listen.